Turn off. Wait. Uh, Good evening, everyone. My name is Gawel from Bengal University. I will discuss shortly my topic, which is documentation from sour cabbage, wheat straw, and collagen. And the case of my is documentation, which is a specific process, specific anaerobic digestion process. Anaerobic digestion is conversion of biomass by anaerobic digestion into some biogas. This biogas, in case of anaerobic digestion, full anaerobic digestion, so first step, now unblocked, will end on biogas with main production of methane. But if we stop the anaerobic digestion at not least process stage, which is acidogenesis, we have dark fermentation. The first two steps are maybe not unnecessary, but usually occurs because one step ferment, two step or anaerobic digestion, or one step dark fermentation occurs only on the simplest material like glucose, fructose, glycerol, some glycine as amino acids. But this compound rarely occurs in nature and in this pure form. And research of anaerobic digestion, like fermentation, has the aim to reduce waste, to provide zero waste policy. So our waste will be transformed into something what is useful, in this case, biofuel, hydrogen or methane. So the waste usually are polymers, biopolymers, which are lignocellulose, like all other polysaccharides, complex matter, polysaccharides, protein, and very clever. And first is hydrolysis. In this hydrolysis, we isolate compounds to have only polysaccharides, polyglyceride form, because this will be fit for the process. This is a very specific because has plenty cases how to produce the sugar and the fuel in the design material, design feed of optimal conditions for dark fermentation to be prepared, because it can be prepared many times from fungal, acidic, and this is many things, many conditions, but the aim is to produce products, maybe for medicine also, some side products. This is the aim of this production also. But in my case, I will focus on dark fermentation, and dark fermentation is optimal on pH 6 and 5. So we have to produce such feed that entering to the bacterial layer will give the overall pH 5 or 6. It can be, feed can be in some concentration even lower than this optimal pH, but not enough low to lower pH, to decrease pH to the value lower than 3. Even 4, below 4 pH is very undesired for dark fermentation because most enzymes that work for dark fermentation blocks, so will not occur. And bacteria in dark fermentation needs also, of course, be treated, usually shock treated usually, to close process of anaerobic digestion. The process is closed because bacteria that are most efficient for dark fermentation are Clostridium. After influence of danger, like acid, shock, heat, sudden heat change, which is dangerous, they close into the sporage form. Sporage form is the form that of bacteria that it helps to survive in unfavorable to the conditions like high acid, high temperature, and this is it. So dark fermentation is shocking, and after this heat shock, which is time lapse, so we don't produce no gas, the bacteria opens from the sporage. The sporage will be next also some part of the feed. As a result of this of this rest sporage and rest bacteria digestion is hydrogen sulfide, which occurs simultaneously to hydrogen production. However, is not direct process because if bacteria enters the feed, it will transform into by pyruvic acid pathway into free acids. The temperature of these conditions depends on bacteria. These bacteria enzymes are usually connected to iron chelates. So this is helpful to give some shift of fermentation will be by adding some iron salts in some conditions. Therefore, we produce this hydrogen. But this hydrogen is depending from temperature, mesophilic, which is 36 to 40, which I research mostly because it's most efficient, and thermophilic, which is 55 to 60 degrees, which is have difficulties or high extra energy needed to be added, and also is psychrophilic but very low efficiency. So we consider only metallogenic mesophilic conditions, and they occurs, they feed, and they decompose the glucose into pyruvic acid, and then there is the substage. So the substage, which after the second cycle, this pyruvic cycle acid produce hydrogen from 2 molecules to 4 molecules. If produce 4 molecules hydrogen, then will occur acetic acid. Therefore, the pathway as such is acetic acid pathway. But this acetic acid pathway requires is very highest Gibbs energy, close to 0, so close to probability. Because if Gibbs energy is above 0 joules, then process cannot occur. So therefore, acetic acid pathway is unfortunately very rare, which is not very happy because in this case, if we have acetic, we can produce 33% optimal efficiency. There is also, if there are from the pyruvic acid will occur propionic, there is propionate. Somehow slightly higher, slightly lower Gibbs energy than it has acetic. The most probably and mostly occurring is butyric acid. Of course, there are also some pathways that in fact occurs some other acid like caproic or hexanoic acid, but mostly occurs butyric acid. This butyric acid causes that yield is 15%, and nowadays the research which gives 15% hydrogen yield is considered to be acceptable to industry according to newest hydrogen standard conference. This is good for giving possibility to enhance this process. Then we have this hydrogen, and this hydrogen can be used in somehow as for hydrogen, or the further it can also use in methane process, because in methane processes, so unstop, hydrogen helps in increase efficiency of this process. Besides hydrogen, we have also some carbon dioxide in gases from which needs to be clean, refined until the hydrogen will comes to the selling. The most product fermentation now is occurring on different industries like sugar cane, sugar beet industry, which has to utilize the sugar. And this hydrogen will comes to some energy. Because hydrogen is very good energy carrier, but unfortunately, it's mostly now produced in conventional way for fossil fuels that will soon disappear. So in 30 years, we have only oils on South Arabia. So the rest of countries have no fuels, and then will gas, which is commonly used. So we have to find method, and dark fermentation is that method. In the case of sour cabbage that I make research, the sour cabbage is special prepared cabbage. So this is the cabbage. Cabbage is a popular vegetable, and in Korea and moderate climate like Korea and Europe, Poland, Germany, it is used to produce lactic acid bacteria to digest and have easier preserving. And this lactic acid bacteria are produce sour cabbage, in case this is in Germany and Poland called. In Korea, it's called kimchi. This is very considered as very healthy meal due to the lactic acid presence, and also check how is prepared, how dark fermentation it comes, and it happens that dark fermentation in sour cabbage, which was less digested, was higher than this better digested. Sorry. So, better digestion causes that for dark fermentation is better, less digested. But for methane, it's reversed. However, in the case of raw cabbage, dark fermentation was worse for both cases of sour cabbage. It also shows that little protein than is in sour cabbage for cabbage was not enough to produce hydrogen sulfide. So it was the taste that it comes from the hydrogen sulfide from bacterial rest. In case of collagen, which is protein, from gelatin. It shows that it's high production, but much high, and high emission of hydrogen sulfide. It shows that also dark fermentation can be produced from not carbohydrates, non-fats, but also from proteins. But the hydrogen sulfide is too much to get from the protein added by feed, so it's necessary to come from bacteria rests. In comparison to potatoes, and sweet straw, the potatoes was coming as foodstuff for kitchen, so very digest, very only starch, and it's excellent. But it's not very so common ways, but it's best. And we see that dark fermentation in haze. Wheat straw needs mild hydrolysis because it's lignocellulose healthy waste, which cause that production from wheat straw can be similar to wet potatoes, but it's much more expensive, so much less affordable. In case of cotton or collagen, it's also very high, but the highest the cheapest is from potato. So this shows that more pretreated substance, more common, is better hydrogen and costs less money. But we need to find such for fulfill demands of hydrogen that will overcome our needs. So we need to all varieties of organic waste. And dark fermentation can produce dark hydrogen and can produce in 24 hours. So we feed our needs all day, which is contrary to other methods like we're using combustion pyrolysis, which is splitting by temperature, not any bacteria, or microbial fuel cells, which can only can produce hydrogen with high qualities for ammonia, not other varieties. So dark fermentation is suitable for high conversion of waste, and some additive facilitate bacteria, which is to microbial fuel cells for ammonia, because microbial fuel cell is different kind of bacteria which are using pseudomonas bacteria, not pretreated, in one of cell on our platen, and this produces a voltage that can this ammonia split into hydrogen and nitrogen. But this nitrogen can be then. This is why now the produced hydrogen things to be stored as ammonia, because it's easily converted to hydrogen backward if needed under this bacterial difference. But it's for our necessary will be some more research, and thank you very much.